Yo, what do we do when nothing's working? And how many of us online coaches feel that way right now? We feel like we're kind of like frustrated. It's like we're posting content consistently and we're trying to get ourselves out there and we're trying to post on social media. But no matter how much we post or how much we put out there, it seems like we just can't get enough people reaching out to us. What do we do if we're trying to lead generate and we're trying to pull in clients, but then, you know, even with all of our lead gen efforts and all the time we spend on social media trying to get clients to come to us, we feel like we're not getting enough calls booked. What do we do when we get to a point where we're like, nothing that I'm doing is working and I just feel like I want to quit? I just feel like I want to give up because I don't really feel like this is going to end up working out for me. What do we do when nothing is working? First thing I want to talk about, guys, is like when you're building your online coaching business, the reason that a lot of people end up failing is because they don't understand that they're building their own business. Like when you're working for somebody else, when you're working at a 9 to 5, yes, you've got this guaranteed income, but that guaranteed income also comes with these chains. It comes with a trap. It comes with like, I'm going to pay you $15 an hour because that's what your life is worth. And I'm also going to trap you into this job, into this one location, and you're going to be stuck here. So in your coaching business, yes, you do have an opportunity to gain freedom, but with that opportunity to gain freedom, there's going to be some adversity that you have to come through. And one of those points of adversity is understanding that there's going to be some times that you want to quit. There's going to be some times that you want to give up. There's going to be some times where you feel like nothing's working. And no matter how much you're posting content or how much you're lead generating or how many calls you book, you just can't seem to sign clients. This podcast episode is for you if you feel like quitting, if you feel like nothing that you're doing is working out. This podcast episode is for you because I want to be the voice that tells you that what if it was just one small adjustment that you made in your business that led to exponential results? What if it was just one extra post that you made on social media that led to you signing your next client? What if you just needed one more inch in one area of your coaching business and that 1 inch was able to be the difference between you making $3,000 a month and $10,000 a month? Now, I'm going to talk to you guys about one of my clients, Maverick Willett, because Maverick Willett, before he had joined PT Domination, he had his own coaching business and he was doing his own thing. But Maverick Willett was making like $1,500 to $2,000 a month every single month on his own. See, Maverick Willett was posting consistently. He was posting testimonials. He was posting value-based content, but he didn't really have like a content strategy and he wasn't really sure how to book phone calls. Once he came into the program, I showed him just one strategy. And from one strategy, he was able to make $10,000 in his first 30 days. Now, let's talk about a sports reference. So in football, there was a Super Bowl in the 2000s where in 1999, the St. Louis Rams became the Super Bowl champions. And the reason they became the Super Bowl champions is they held off the Tennessee Titans by 2 inches. If the Tennessee Titans would have scored a touchdown in the 2000s, they would have been the Super Bowl champions. But those 2 inches made the difference between somebody being a champion and somebody being second place, right? So we see this reference in sports as well. Let's talk about this book that I like to refer to. It's called Think and Grow Rich. It was written by Napoleon Hill. In this book, Napoleon Hill talks about the story about being 3 feet from gold. This analogy comes from a story where there was a young man during the gold rush, and he was mining away at a Colorado gold mine for months and months and months. And he was told that there was this gold there, and so he kept working, he kept working, he kept working. And finally, after a few months of working at this mine, he just gave up. He just quit. He's like, there's no gold here. I give up. I quit. Now, the next miner that came in started digging in that same mine that guy was digging in. 3 feet. The guy gets 3 feet and he ends up striking gold. Becomes one of the richest men in history. So we see these references all the time. And there's this idea that when nothing is working, it's likely right now, online fitness coach, that even though you feel frustrated, even though you feel stuck, even though you feel like you can't book enough calls, even though you feel like your content isn't working, even though you feel like your lead generation efforts aren't there, it is very, very likely that in your coaching business, that it is a very small adjustment that will lead to you striking gold. It is very, very likely that there's 1 or 2 things that you're doing wrong in your content strategy. And if you fix those 1 or 2 things, that you would get a lot more clients. It is very likely that if you just wrote content maybe a little bit more targeted towards your avatar, or you put out just a little bit more social proof on your content strategy, that you get more people applying for your program. But so many online fitness coaches, they end up doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results, but they're not changing up any sort of the strategy. Do you guys understand what I'm saying here? So what I'm telling you guys right now is if you feel like nothing's working, it's likely that there's like a 2% difference that you can make in your coaching business. There's like a 2% adjustment that you can make in your content strategy that would lead to more clients reaching out to you. 2% difference. That's it. Pretty much every single coaching call that I do for the 10K Coaching Academy, one of the biggest things that I talk about is getting 1% better every single day. And so every single piece of content that you do, you want it to be just a little bit better than the last one, written with just a little bit more intention. Maybe you spend just a little bit more time studying the course so that the next time you write a piece of content, it's just a little bit better. It's those small inches over time that lead to those big changes. But most online coaches struggle because they feel like nothing's working. And so they'll maybe you're even in a coaching program right now and you feel like nothing's working. You watched a few of the videos and you get it, but you haven't actually made any adjustments to your content strategy. You're just kind of watching the videos and taking them in as arbitrary concepts without applying them. What if it was one small adjustment that you made in your content strategy that led to you getting your next 3 to 5 clients? I want to talk about lead generation for a second too. Because we've got like the content side of it, right? Like making sure that your content's good. But then what if you're getting, you're in conversations with a bunch of people, but you just can't get anyone on the phone call? Like for some reason, nobody's just committing to a phone call with you. And you feel like no matter how many people you get into DMs with, nobody wants to jump on a call with you. My invitation for you guys to think about today is what if it was one small change in the way that you presented your DM script that led to 5 more booked calls this week? What if it was one small change in the way that you're communicating with your clients that led to 5 more booked calls this week? Einstein says the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. But in our coaching business, we do this all the time. We're like, oh, nothing's working. I'm not signing any clients. I'm not booking any calls. But then we look at our DM script and we compare it to what we're supposed to be doing. And it's not even close to the coaching program that we're in. It's not even close to the DM script. We're just kind of like, we're just saying random shit that we think is valuable, but isn't in the course that we're learning. What if it was one small change in the way that you communicate with your potential clients that led to 5 more phone calls booked this week? What if it was just a little bit more? What if you got just a little bit better at your DMs and you were able to book just a couple more phone calls? Let's talk about sales, right? Those of you guys that are struggling with selling clients into your coaching program, maybe you've actually booked a few phone calls with potential clients, but for some reason, nobody's taking action on your program. My invitation for you to think about is what if there was a small way that you could change up presenting your offer that sounded more appealing to your ideal client that led to your next $1,000 client paying you in full. This is something that I see so often in the way that most people join coaching programs is a lot of people will join, a business mentorship program, and then they'll watch all the videos once. And then they'll think that just because they watched that video once, that they completely understand the concept. They'll never go back and revisit it. And then when they struggle with applying said concept, they won't ask for feedback or they won't try to change something up. They'll just get discouraged that it's not working. But then they're not trying to improve. They're not trying to get better. They're not trying to evolve. Any sort of coaching program is going to take not only you implementing, but also you getting better at implementing the said thing that you're supposed to be doing. Like for your fat loss clients, you guys, if you have a fat loss client in your program and maybe they're doing all their workouts, they're doing all their meal plan, but they're only drinking 500 milliliters of water a day, that fat loss client isn't going to lose weight. And so in the business coaching program that you're in right now, if you keep doing the same thing over and over again, but you're not improving your sales skills, or you're not improving your DMs, or you're not improving your content, you keep repeating the same process over and over and over again, expecting different results, how do you expect to get any better? Now let's talk about client retention for a second, because some of you guys that are online coaches might be a little bit more experienced and maybe you have 5, 10, 15 clients, but for some reason you keep getting clients drop off the program. And every single time you get a client drop off the program, you don't change your system. Instead, you complain that COVID's happening and everybody's out of work. But what if there was a small change in the way that you delivered your program that allowed your clients to get more value and better results and they stuck around for long term? What if every single person that left your program, you made an effort to get 1% better in the way that you delivered your program to your clients? Do you guys understand what I'm saying here? Everything is within our control. Everything is within our control. So many people get so frustrated about things not working, and instead of using that frustration to work on their business and become better, they end up feeling like they want to quit. But just like the gold rush analogy, you could be 3 feet away from gold in your coaching business. Like you could be like a little change up in the way that you communicate with your clients could be the difference between you making $2,000 a month to $10,000 a month. A little bit of a different pitch on the phone call with potential clients could be the difference between you signing your next 5 clients or you signing 0 clients at all. A little bit of a switch up in the way that you're writing your content for your social media could be the difference between 10 leads reaching out to you this week and 0 leads reaching out to you this week. Just a little bit more. And guys, I get it. When you feel like nothing is working, when you feel like you're putting in all this work and you're not getting any ROI, like I get that it's frustrating, but I'm here to remind you that inches, when we're talking about sports, inches can be the difference between winning the Super Bowl and losing the Super Bowl. And when we're talking about like the Colorado Gold Rush, there was one man that was 3 feet away from gold and he quit right before he was about to strike gold. My client Maverick Willett was an online fitness coach for 3 years before he decided to start, like I think it was 2 years actually, 2 years before he reached out to me and asked for help. And just by reaching out and asking for help in his first month, he was able to go from $1,500 a month to $10,000 a month because we made one small adjustment in the way he communicated with his clients. Yo, if you're struggling right now and you're frustrated and you feel like nothing's working, I'm here to remind you, I just want you to do a little bit more. If you're struggling right now and you feel like nothing's working, I want to remind you that I want you to get 1% better every single day. If you're struggling and you feel like nothing's working, I want to remind you that it could be a tiny, 3-degree adjustment in the way that you present your content could be the difference between you getting 10 leads this week and 0 leads this week. If you're struggling and you feel like nothing's working, a small shift in the way that you're communicating in the DMs could be the difference between 10 calls this week and 0 calls this week. If you're struggling with signing clients in your online coaching program, I'm here to remind you that a small change in the way that you present your offer could be the difference between someone signing up and paying you $1,000 versus somebody hanging up and saying no thank you. If you're getting clients drop off your program left, right, and center, instead of blaming COVID or external circumstances, I'm telling you that a small shift in the way that you deliver your program to your potential clients could be the difference between clients sticking around for 1 month or 1 year. Keep fucking going. When you feel like quitting, do just a little bit more. When you feel like quitting, push just a little bit more. When you feel like giving up, get just a little bit better. We don't get successful overnight and we don't get successful easily. Otherwise, everybody would do it. And so I want you to think about what area of your business you're really struggling with the most. Is it getting more leads to reach out to you? Maybe you need to improve your content just a little bit more. Is it getting phone calls with leads once you're in a conversation with them? Maybe you need to improve your DM script just a little bit more. Is it getting sales on the phone when you're on the phone? Maybe you need to improve your sales skills just a little bit more. Are you getting clients drop off the program when they're in the program? Maybe your program delivery just needs to get a little bit better. When you feel like quitting, I want to remind you that you just need to go just a little bit more. Sometimes the difference between success and failure is just deciding that you're going to go just a little bit more, just push a little bit harder. The last thing I'm going to leave you with is I remember back when I was an online fitness coach, I had this mindset of just a little bit more, just a little bit more, just a little bit more. There was one night where I was up and this was like 9 or 10 p.m. I was up and I got a DM from a potential client and they're like, "Hey, Brian, super interested in joining your program." And even though I was tired, in my head, I said to myself, just a little bit more. So I stayed up for the next 30 minutes conversing with this potential client over DMs, and they end up signing up. They paid me in full $750 for a 12-week program because I had this mindset of just a little bit more. Like, yeah, it was 9 p.m. I shouldn't have been on my phone. I wanted to go to bed, but this client DM'd me and they said they wanted to sign up. So I was just like, just a little bit more, just a little bit more, just a little bit more. When you feel like nothing's working, this is your daily reminder from B Mark Fit to do just a little bit more.